All right, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shem Ainatan Basham Yahweh Shai to the sisters.
Yahweh Shem
All right,
Yahshua.
welcome to this evening. All right, first in our series, Israelites before and after integration. We're looking at the history of reggae music in Jamaica. Well, the history of reggae music, really. Because before Jamaica, before reggae music in Jamaica, there was no reggae music. All right, how did reggae music start? How did reggae music came about? That's what we want to look at. All right. Reggae music did not start in Jamaica as reggae music. Reggae music
Right.
spanned through several genres, right? But the original music that was in Jamaica was um, came from a dance known as quadrille. The party. Well, when they would have their party and get together, they would they would have their slaves serving them in their get together in their parties. So the slaves would go back to their
Right.
quarters and they would be like mimicking the masters. That was the early form of quadrille. So by mimicking the master now, we came up with a dance when we became free, quadrille. And then we add other musical instruments and and so on and came up with other genre of music until we came up with a music that they call originally it was called reggae music and then
Right.
Toots Ebert now name it reggae music. And then just like every other thing in integration, Bob Marley take it away.
Right.
Right. And today you have the Marley estate, Bob Marley estate, owned solely by Edomites, not owned by Israelites.
Right.
Now, a lot of people probably would want to contest that, but we in the UPK know that you are your father's, whoever your father is, that's what you are.
That's
And
right.
and his father was an Edomite, his kids are therefore an Edomite. I'm gonna try to share this thing and peer probably gonna take it again. His kids therefore is Edomites. All right. Now we want to take a look at the history of quadrille and how it developed in Jamaica. All right, give me the article before we go to the music.
Canada one can. All right. This article says traditional dance of Jamaica. The
Mm.
Caribbean island of Jamaica, sitting just south of Cuba in the Greater Antilles, forged a colorful identity from a rich mix of African European and Creole or hybrid influences.
Hold on, this is which part you're reading from?
Start at the part where it say quadrille.
The quadrille, yeah.
Okay, Canada one can. The quadrille. The quadrille is a formal court dance imported by European gentry who ran the slave plantations. It consists of four figures or movements plus an added Jamaican touch. A fifth figure known as the mentor.
Right. So that is us now being an Israelite, being the salt of the earth. We add something to it.
Right.
We add the men to move to it, or the men to beat. All right, read on.
Ghana one can. An original version is a graceful set piece called ballroom. The local derivation is camp style, a sexier, livelier Creole
Livelier.
livelier Slovakia, Creole reinterpretation, classic European style advancing and retreating, and Slovakia. Promenades get a lot more footwork and hip swinging. Both dances are accompanied by mento bands.
Right. So mentor band give the quadrillions. But of course, the mentor now is our spin to what we learn from the master. We add our spin to it and we get the mentor dance or the mentor rhythm. But we
Right.
kept the dance. The dance was kept. It was a formal dance. The earlier, it is really a ballroom dance, you know. I don't know ballroom are generally formal places of dance. When we first time before we say dance hall, we used to have, well, that is how the word dance hall came about. The dance hall was the ballroom hall where the formal dancing would take place.
Okay, gone.
And of course, when we start to come up to the different genres of music that we created, we still kept that little era that we call the dance hall. And we put the music system in it and we still call it dance hall. And so till we come up with what we call also dance hall music.
Right.
All right, but read on now. Maybe see what else we have.
Another one gone. Which played both the European tune and indigenous Jamaican music on regular and recycled scrap instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Maypole, it's like a maypole. This comes straight from the 15th century pagan festival, Queen Victoria birthday party, and the seasonal celebration of slaves. In a spring maypole dance, participants weave in and out to braid, unbraid, and make a web of long ribbons around the symbolic tree or pole. The creation of pattern with the ribbons is the focus of the movement. These days, a maypole dance is likely to be featured at a children's festival or in rural areas and village fairs.
Right. So maypole is another method of dance which came up in Jamaica. And of course, it was done to the mento again. This is a dance that was done to the
Right,
mento. But this is also the master class dance. This have nothing from about African in it because white people do mento, do this, maypole dance. Right. Read on.
got another
By
one
the
gone.
way, what's in it? Kumina, yeah. This one now is a nice different spin from what we have. Continue.
Got another one gone. The kumina is danced at wakes and burials and occasionally at less samba events. The performance itself is anything but somber, an African drumbeat, an exuberant, life-affirming choreography are intended to restore the bereaved to engagement with life by calling on the ancestral spirits to heal and comfort them.
All right, so the Kumina now, this wasn't learned from the Europeans. Kumina, uh, you probably can get the Kumina rhythm on the thing there now, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just check YouTube if you can get the Kumina rhythm. Because a different kind of beat from Mento and how I want it. Big up now.
Another one gone.
All right, this is Sly and Robbie mix, right?
Gone.
All right, but Sly and Robbie don't know is to mix coming out with Mento.
Okay.
But if you could have get this straight Kumina beat. And all right. This now came about in the 80s, 90s. That's Sly and Robbie time. Known as the Rhythm Twins.
Gone.
Yeah, go on. Let me see that one there. On the song there. Right. That's the Kumina beat. Yeah. Right. That is the Kumina beat. Right? That is what that's what we know as the original Kumina beat. Play a little more. All right, let's see what I do. They're bringing all the greater become a musical instrument in the Kumina music. But in Kumina, you can still hear that half beat, which form the base of the reggae music, ain't it? That
Gone.
one half beat that form the base of reggae music. You can still hear it in that Kumina. All right. Then the next one now is you have some other thing where you can read about. But you can play a little of the well, I don't know if the Sly and Robbie thing the copyright, you know. Them thing normally copyright, you know.
Go back to the Sly and Robbie version.
Yeah, but don't put them up on the script. Just put up the rhythm.
Another one gone.
All right, so this is how we now add flavor to genres of music and create other genres. But what Sly and Robbie did was to put Kumina with the mentor beat, where we evolve into reggae and give it that kind of that beat. Well, today now we hear them with some music. We don't know where them one they come from. All right, what continue the reading now?
Another one gone. Kumina. The Kumina is a dance slack, yeah. All right. The moves are loosed upper body and legs in constant motion and pelvic isolations. Some fairly explicit link.
Hold on. I think we can go to the next thing after Kumina. You get the gist with Kumina.
Okay, Canal one can. Canal one can. Dinky Mini.
All right, that's a kind of dance now.
Dinky Mini.
Right.
Canal
Read
one
on.
can. Dinky Mini. From Canal one can. From Congolese Indigi and called Jera or Jere is some parts of Jamaica. In some parts of Jamaica is performed over the course of a ritual wake along with the kumina. The dance has the same purpose to cheer the mourners and remind them of life.
Right.
Dancers away, Slakia.
Right. So the Dinky Mini now is a kind of dance that was put with Kumina, which means it was a cheerful dance. Right. So Dinky Mini came in before we have reggae too, you know. All right. There's a lot left to read. You can finish that or we want to move to the next genre.
So Slakia, just to say that, you know what I mean? The Dinky Mini saying that it come from Congolese, but that dance now have nothing to do with the music. You understand?
Right. The
That now
dance.
have nothing to do with the reggae. You see?
Do with what?
And if you fast forward to reggae, all of those drums that you hear in Kumina, you don't hear that in a reggae none at all. You
Exactly. Now,
understand?
well, we're building up, man. We're building up, going up to reggae because there are some
Yeah, we just have
African
to
dance.
make it clear because them people are going to hear Congolese and them are going to hear African and them are going to say, see it, you know what I mean? See what we tell you. But and what we have to understand is the people them who write these articles, they are making up things too. They are saying that it come from Africa when there is no proof. This was just our people doing what they do here in Jamaica. You
No, man.
understand? It
All right.
wasn't them going back to
You see,
Africa, bringing
hold
back
on.
African culture.
You see the
You
Dinky Mini,
understand? So,
you see the Dinky Mini, the Jankuno, the what the other one the name we talked about earlier, the Kumina. Remember there were some set of slaves which became maroons.
gone,
Right?
gone.
Them dancer came up with the maroons,
Gone, gone.
but those beats didn't make it into reggae.
Right. That now have nothing to do with reggae, kia, mento, none at all.
Right, right.
Gone,
Even the rumba box that is in Mento,
gone.
it didn't came straight from Africa. We get it through Cuba.
Right, right.
Right. And then reggae came about after we start traveling to America and going to New Orleans. But we soon read up on that.
Gone or one gone.
And then we mix the New Orleans music with our mentor band, and we came up with ska.
Gone or one gone.
And then from ska into reggae. Well, first called Stricky. All right, this is Dinky Mini. You play a little like?
Play the video.
Yeah, play me see it now.
Gone or one gone.
You hear the coming out between I Dinky Mini.
Gone, sir.
Right. There's a kind of dance. Far forward to the move. Dinky Mini is really a dance move.
Slakia, say that again, sir.
Dinky Mini is more of a dance move than a genre of music. It's a genre of dance.
Gone. Gone, sir.
So this is what we not to mix up now. All right. You see the one, the offbeat one drop.
Gone.
That is the Dinky Mini dance. So this is we now teaching the oppressor how to do our dance again.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, next one we have is one.
Another one can. We have the you want to move on to Skia or the Roomba box?
The Roomba box. Got the Roomba box. No. Um, we play Mento already. We talk about Mento.
Last, sir.
Find Mento. Mento was before Ska.
All right, you did send me an article with the mentor.
Yes, we send an article about Mento music.
1 second. Send me it again, sir. I no see it.
Mento.
Yeah, the mentor article.
Remember. How much article you see in your email?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 articles.
And none of those is about Mento.
Gone. No, none of those are mentor.
Let me see what now Mento. This one. All right, the same Pinky Mini, Rampuni, Rockins, All right, they have some style of dance will come after in that same article. All right, but Mento not in it. We want to go into Mento.
We have a video.
All right, Mento is really just the music that's pinned from thing here.
Gone.
All right. Again, as coming from Africa is more of a dance, not the music coming into reggae. Like the Dinky Mini, the Jankuno, the and even those music are still done to those dance. They either do it to the Kumina beat, which is not reggae, or they do it to the Mento, which we
Right.
developed. All right. What you have on thing there?
Skia?
No, Mento.
Last, sir. Only have the video.
Which one? The music?
With the music itself.
All right, video on what? You say you have a video. Which video?
Slakia, sir. I never see the article about the mentor.
Yeah, man. You say you have a video.
Gone.
All right, so this is. All right, so this music is one of our folk songs.
Ilangoli bendo bendo low. Ilangoli bendo low. Ilangoli. Ilangoli bendo low. Ilangoli. Take you bendo low. Ilangoli. Ilangoli rider. Ilangoli rider. Ilangoli rider. Somebody take you bendo low. Ilangoli. Take you bendo low. If you go to the Ghana hill, if you go to the Ghana hill, if you go to the Ghana hill, Ilangoli, oh Ilangoli, Ilangoli, Ilangoli.
All right. All right. So that is the mental beat. Mental became our first genre of music.
Right.
Right? It became our first genre of music. And then from mental, we have several mental bands. A lot of mental bands. That music that was a mental band too. I think you
Right.
still have some of the mental bands that plays in some of the hotels. Because some of the white people them still love the mental music and the ska music.
Gun
They
one
say,
gun.
they say reggae is too hardcore against them.
Gun.
So when they then go for dancehall, yes. But you know, the one drop reggae, they're not too into it. They stick with the mental band and the ska. All right, we can go into ska now because ska evolved from mental.
Gun one gun. It says, so I can put it up on the screen. 1 second. Yeah, hear me, sir?
Nice. I hear you, yeah.
Gun one gun. It says, Skia, Jamaican's first indigenous urban pop style,
Mm-hmm.
pioneered by the operators of powerful mobile disco called sound systems. Skia
Right.
evolved in Slack.
No man, continue.
Gunner one can. Ska evolved in the late 1950s from an early Jamaican form of rhythm and blues that emulated American rhythm and blues, especially that produced in New Orleans, Louisiana. A new beat emerged that mixed the shuffling rhythm of American pianist Roscoe Garden with Caribbean folk influences, most notably the mambo of Cuba and the mento, a Jamaican dance music that provided the new music's core rhythm.
All right. So we had the mentor before ska, but guess what? Mentor
Right,
was not a pop music, meaning popular music. The first pop music became the ska. And that came now when we start to travel in we have always been traveling, but more of us start to travel into these were why you think New Orleans? These were black communities. And you had
right,
thriving black communities all over the US. So we went into New Orleans where the rhythm and blues and Judites have their music. And then we bring back some of that now and mix it with the mental. And we end up with Ska. All right, read on.
Can one can. Slovakia. A new beat emerged that mixed the shuffling, Slovakia. 1 minute. The boogie woogie piano from Slovakia characteristics of New Orleans style rhythm and blues was simulated by a guitar chop and offbeat and onomatopoeical Slovakia, mispronounce a word there, became known as ska. The beat was made more locomotive by the horn, saxophones, trumpet, trombone, and piano that played the same riff in the offbeat.
All right. Now, so far, we reach and we don't see any semblance of any African anything in the music. We didn't take any music from Africa to reach to ska.
Right.
There were
One can.
dances and beats that were here which came up with the slaves, Congolese slaves and so on, but it did not make it into reggae music. It did not make it into the formation of the reggae music. The one that we play with Sly and Robbie, they did that after we came up with reggae music.
Right.
Right. But this is the formation of reggae. And guess what? This was before integration. They put a time period on it. Go back up and go see what year they talk about.
Slovakia. It says ska evolved in the late 1950s.
So this was before integration.
Gone.
So you see how we were evolving as a people coming up to when they talk about integrating.
1 second, sir.
And then it's like the evolution stopped. It just draw breaks. Why is it so? Because we have more to gain doing what the Most High said. The Most High said we should separate ourselves from the nations, not integrate ourselves. That never worked. Integration kill our us being the salt of the earth. Integration eliminate that. All right, so I have this cat. Let me see what this cat saying on. So Skia,
Slovakia, sir.
the beat was made more locomotive by the horns, saxophones, trumpet, trombone, piano that played the same riff on the offbeat. All the while the drums kept a beat with bass drum accent on the second and fourth beat. All right. Because, all right, don't far you reach now. Because the history of Jamaican popular music. Right there, so.
Slovakia. Gunner one gun. because the history of Jamaican popular music is largely oral, contending claims of authorship were inevitable, but guitarist Ernest Ramblings claim that he invented the ska chop is generally regarded as plausible.
Right. So these are the early fathers now who add their style and touch to ska. The
Gone.
Ernie Rankin. All right. Derek Morgan. So is Derek Morgan. This is I think the father of the Morgan heritage.
Okay. Gone.
Mhm. And then Prince Buster, the Toots Ebert. Continue.
Gone another one gone. Singer Derek Morgan, Prince Buster, Toots Ebert of Toots and the Metals, Justin Hines and the Dominoes became stars, but ska was primarily an instrumental music.
Right. Read on.
Jamaica's independence from British rule in 1962 left the country and ska in a celebratory mood. The
Right.
music's
So
like,
when we became independent in the 60s, what we had was ska.
gone.
So this is why the earlier um, festival songs that we have was more ska and meant to beat
Right,
rather than reggae beat.
gone.
All right, go on.
Gone another one gone. Jamaica's Slakia. The music's dominant exponents were a group of leading studio musicians: Dan Drummond, Roland Alfonso, Dizzy Johnny Moore, Tommy McCook, Lester Sterling, Jackie Mito, Lloyd Privet, Jad Jerry, and Lloyd Nibbs. And under McCook's leadership, they became known as the Scatterlights in 1963, making several
Right.
seminal Slakia.
We still not into integration yet, you know.
Right.
So we still under ska. Continue.
Got another one gone. Making several seminal recordings for leading producers and backing many prominent singers, as well as the fledgling Bob Marley and the Wailers. The Scatterlights' most distinctive musical presence was trombonist, composer, and arranger Drummond, a colorful figure who grappled with mental instability. He was institutionalized after murdering his girlfriend and died in confinement. Drummond was the central musician of the era, as essential to the development of ska as Marley was to reggae. Them
Marley
claim.
did not Marley did not develop reggae. Scroll
Right.
down.
Ghana one can. Ska has had several international appeals. First began in the early 1960s and is remembered by My Boy Lollipop by Millie Small, a Jamaican singer based in London, and for It's by Prince Buster and by Desmond Decker and the Aces.
Right. So these were the early stars of ska. As a matter
Right,
of fact, if you notice, Toots, when what you call it in again? In America, when them give awards to music, what you call that? That's
The Grammy. The
the
Grammy, sir.
Grammy.
Okay.
If you notice, when Grammy started to recognize reggae music, Toots did no new song, Toots went back for his old songs that he did from ska and the early onset of reggae and do them over and win Grammy. So
Okay. Okay.
you see these names that they're talking about, these were the stars of the music, but the music was not internationally recognized yet.
Right.
Millie Small was one of them who made ska became recognized in Europe with the My Boy Lollipop and some of these other singers that you hear about. What Bob Marley did was just to echo the music abroad, but
Right.
he wasn't any of the as a matter of fact, Bob Marley used to do ska music. When he became Bob Marley and the Wailer, but and he guess what? He was the only um crossbreed like that, he might in the music business then time. Well,
Right.
singer performer. Because you have always had other races behind the scenes in our music. Many of them are the producers, and so on, which is how they get to swindle many of our artists out of copyright and royalties.
Right.
Because a lot of them singers who came up and bops, they dead quick. What do you think happened? The music still copyright, but who collecting the money?
Right.
Not their family. All right, read on.
Another one can. In the 1970s, ska was a significant influence on British pop culture, and so-called two-tone groups, whose name derived from both the suit they wore and their often integrated lineups, such as the Special Selector and Madness, brought punk and more pop into ska.
All right. So it is this development of the ska now. So ska evolved to a state now where it can't remain as ska no more. Bops, the earlier name for the music after ska was really reggae music. And then Toots
Right,
Ebert call it because if there's a part down the bottom here where it mentioned Toots naming the music, reggae music.
another one can. Um, Salakia, sir. I don't see it, but remember we have an
Mhm.
article on Toots. You
We
want me
have one on
pull that
Toots.
article? Yeah, you did send me one on Toots.
All right. Okay. All right. How much more we have
One
leave
second.
on this one that you're on?
This one have several paragraphs left. Several. We reach like quarter way in this one.
All right. We soon reach a point to close. Um, um, Toots, did we play the one with we play the quadrille dance already?
Um, with the people, I mean, carnival clothes,
Yeah.
with the big
Not carnival clothes.
festival clothes.
Festival clothes. Yes. We
Gun.
play that.
Last. We never
Ah,
play that yet.
play that one.
Gun one gun.
I want you right now in Huddersfield Park celebrating Jamaica's 50th. Beautiful, Nemo. That's right, celebrating Jamaica's 50th independence. You need to come a bit nearer to see them. Or look up on the screen to the right, you'll see them. Absolutely fantastic in the colors representing right now.
All right, we're going to pause that. Yeah, pause that. Pause it. All right. I don't know why them men they look like they dress up some woman in her pants to go and dance. But
Gun.
quadrille is really a male female dance. So you see, from the earlier onset of our music, that is why reggae had become so male and female dominant. No man and woman and woman. Because earlier onset of the music was a male and female dance. Right? So even though this video that we found, it looked like they have some women dressed up as men, but they still had to dress up as men because that was the base of the music. It was a male and female kind of dance. All right. Toots now. The article, we have anything else interesting in it? Is there anything other thing in it that we need to bring on?
In the last article,
The one that you're reading there, yeah.
not that I pick up on, sir. La.
All right. So let's go into the one with Toots now.
All right, this one with Toots now, it's blocking me with this subscription thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's mandatory or if there's an X where I can press and close it.
What did the
All
topic
right,
of the
one
music?
second. So, okay, I know what to do. Another one, gone. All right, fix. Another one, gone. This is Ebert, Toots Ebert, a father of reggae, is dead. The first to use the word reggae on a record.
All right. So hold on. So hold on. Is that a different article me looking at here? Oh, you have this one. Oh, is that one? It's two of them. Right. So this now, at least this one now give him the credentials, give him the respect that he so well deserved. This man is really the father of reggae music.
Right.
I know what's the worst thing is when he died, they mention it.
Right.
All along, they were talking about who? Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Gone.
even when Bob Marley dead, they didn't say, okay, he wasn't the father of reggae music because Toots was still alive. Is when Toots dead that they gave him the recognition that he so deserved. He is the father of reggae music. First man to ever to name the music, because before him, like I told you, before him name it reggae, it was called reggae music.
Right.
Because it wasn't a music that was all right. Mento and Skia was accepted by the society, right? Right? But if you notice, reggae was not accepted by the society.
Right.
That is why it was called reggae music. But Toots now is like Toots would come in and say, nah, this is good music. Let's call it reggae music.
Right.
Probably spell it wrong and another way when he first named it, but he was the one who first named it reggae music. Continue.
Another one can. The first to use the
By
word
the
reggae.
way, hold on. You need to acknowledge which article
Another one can.
you're reading from.
Another one can. This is the New York Times. You know what I
New
mean? That
York Times.
can.
Right. And we know New York Times generally do some research before they write because they don't really want no lawsuit.
Right. Can.
So this is the New York Times saying this now. Continue.
Another one can. The first to use the word reggae on a record is sung in soulful tone and songs with subtle social commentary, helping bring the sounds of Jamaica world.
Right. But he wasn't given the recognition because
Right.
Bob Marley come now with the locks and the
Can.
weed
Right.
with himself and the cocaine
Can.
and always I. That now became the symbol of reggae.
Right.
But this man here is really the father of reggae. All right, continue.
Another one can. Toots Hibbert, one of the fathers of reggae music, whose vocals imbued the genre sound with an exhortatory power drawn from American soul, died on Friday night in Kingston, Jamaica. He was believed to be 77.
All right.
He's dead, Slakia.
All right, let's see if it tells you how the music developed from Skia. All right, read on.
Another one can. His death in an hospital was announced on the social media accounts of his band, Toots and the Maytals. No cause was specified, but he was recently reported to have been hospitalized with COVID-like symptoms. Mr.
All right,
Slug.
COVID time him dead now. Lord, it was COVID. All right.
Another one can. Mr. Hibberts holds a firm spot in Jamaica's musical pantheon as the first artist to use the word reggae on a record, and the rollicking 1968 single Do the Reggae Thing, Slakia, Do the Reggae, Slakia, by his group, which was originally billed simply as the Maytals. By some account, it was an accidental coinage. Mr. Ibert has said he was thinking of strege, local slang for a raggedy woman, but it stuck.
Right. That's what I tell you. That was the first nickname of the music, Reggae, which symbolizes a raggedy woman because the music was not first accepted by society.
Right,
Remember the music, you had mento, you had ska. Those were played in hotels, those were played in uptown, wherever. But when Strega came about now, it was played in the ghettos.
right,
I don't know the reason for that. Obviously, uptown people find it offensive, right? So it was nicknamed Strega. Read on.
right. Can one can. By some account, it was an accidental coinage. Mr. Ibert has said he was thinking of strege, local slang for a raggedy woman, but it stuck, branding the new sound that would become Jamaica's greatest cultural export.
That is true. All right, read on.
Another one can. Although Mr. Ibert never attained the same level of global fame as Bob Marley, he was immensely popular in Jamaica and was adored by critics and fellow musicians for a body of work that helped establish some of reggae's fundamentals.
Right, like I said, it's the image that Bob Marley came out with: the weed, the locks,
Right,
right? And bring that image, which because Jamaica was a growing Rastafari community, it stopped. All right, him became the ambassador, and then he was also Bob Marley was also a member, I think, the 12th tribe Rastafarian group.
gone.
Toots was just a musician, really. Toots wasn't involved in the Rastafari movement.
Right,
The Rastafari movement, when him 12 tribe, they took reggae music and said they were going to use it to echo the sentiments of Rastafari.
right.
Right. So Bob,
Gone,
they use Bob Marley now like an ambassador
gone.
rather than using an Israelite as an ambassador to the music. They use him. And then he had the weed, but obviously they never know that he used to take cocaine too. It wasn't just the weed that get him that high, and go on stage and you see him getting that. People used to think that it is just the music that get him there. Yeah, yeah,
Right,
man.
Okay, sir. All of these years, when I heard that Toots died and that
Yeah.
he is the one who invented reggae music, I started to wonder all of these years. Bob Marley was in the limelight of being the king of reggae,
Mm-hmm.
the one who invented reggae. Why is it? I start to think and wonder why is it that Toots never come forward all of those years?
Maybe he's just one of those who just. All right. Is it the early fathers of reggae? All right. They did it for one, the love of it.
right,
They were doing the music for the love of it, and they were doing it as a gift to the nation. But none of them none of them never really take and say, it's me do this and it's me do that. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
They did not take onto themselves anything like that. They come up the praise, right? They did not, because even Studio One, which was like a driving force behind reggae music. Is people really recognize Studio One for the work that they did. You understand? And what Coxsone Dad, I am a studio one, no? Sir Coxsone Dad. These are the producers side. But for those who were doing the music, they were just doing it for the love of it, really. Which is why now you don't see so much. It's like the music stopped evolving because this love of it vibes has been watered down for whatever reason, right? We know that there are forces out there pushing against the music because the music it does not push same-sex relationship.
Right.
The music push is it's like an hardcore male female relationship, right? That so everything that is hardcore male female, you realize that the world is pushing against it now.
Right.
So he did not come out obviously for those reasons, and then he was given his due recognition. But if you notice, he had to collaborate with some white man abroad to get Grammy, right? Even look at the work, Bunny Wailer's work. Look at Peter Tosh's work, Jimmy Cliff.
All into the back burner. Bob Marley was there.
Because Bob Marley was of a different race. Huh? So don't let nobody tell you as if white people don't praise them own. They do. Bob Marley is the living proof. Peter Touch, a Bunny Wailer, they were more probably a better musician than Bob,
That's okay.
Like I said, the thing with Bob is him getting high and going that kind of mood. And then he was half white. So and he was very much in touch with the white side of his family.
The scale was over our eyes.
But the scale is thank you. The scale was over our eyes. Because where did Bob Marley do his bands used to rehearse uptown. He sing about Trench Town and all but the uptown in bands do the rehearsal. Right there where the Bob Marley Museum is at. Right? Not in Trench Town. Just like his son sing about halfway tree, really talking about where the uptown man them used to uptown him in school, meet him downtown friend, then meet up in halfway tree. So they were not from the ghetto. The Sean Paul, the Shaggies, them not from the ghetto. The ones that are from the ghetto, those are the ones who they push the gun culture on. And then we get dancehall music now. All right, finish reading up this. All right, time on knocking board. All right, there's a song where Toots sing about Monkey Man, and Sweet and Dandy. Sweet and Dandy was a hit in Jamaica. Sweet and Dandy, Sweet and Dandy. That was a hit in Jamaica. That probably would have been a hit worldwide too. The Monkey Man song was a big hit too. All right, read on.
Can. And classics like Pressure Drop, Monkey Man, and Sweet and Dandy, Mr. Ebert sang in a raw but sweet tone that had echoed of Ray Charles, and he was often compared to other giants of soul music. So, as a singer, he's amazing, Keith Richards said in a profile of Mr. Ebert in Rolling Stone last month. His voice reminds me very much of the timbre of Otis Redding. When you hear him do Slakia, when you hear him do Pain in My Heart, it's an uncanny resemblance, Slakia. Like Marley, Mr. Eberts came to embody the message of early reggae as hopeful and uplifting, yet unsparing in its portrayal of common people's struggle. As a songwriter, Slakia.
Yeah, man, go on. I just said,
As a songwriter, Mr. Ebert crafted simple morality tales, often with just a handful of lyrics that boil up in repetition. With their musky arrangement and lilting upbeat, the songs were so danceable that Mr. Ebert subtle commentary on poverty and injustice could be overlooked.
all right. So that was now the early onset of what reggae music became. Maybe that's why they had taken on to not like Uptown, never did like it, because it
Right.
started to take on a social commentary now, becoming the voice of the poor and the oppressed.
Right.
So we can now see why it was nicknamed reggae music at first, because it now from ska, it now became a music that was echoing the pain and suffering of the poor, which of course the master class wouldn't like. But if you notice Bob Marley now, probably that's why Bob Marley became so big in it, because he, well, yes, he spoke of, well, Bob Marley more sing about, when him talk about until the color of a man's skin. It was the Selassie speech him when I sing about. He wasn't singing about the oppression in the ghetto. When I sing about the oppression in the ghetto, when I talk about, remember when we used to how this song go? In a government yard in Trenchtown Rock.
God.
Right, but that even Trenchtown Rock wasn't a song that was any commentary on the poor and oppressed. It was more like, glorifying oppression and saying, why we were oppressed, but we were happy because we used to, cook cornmeal porridge and blah blah blah. Him no know nothing about the oppression in a trench town, really.
Right.
I remember is when they got checking bridging down in a trench town, and the man then put out the good side of them. George make the fire light and they make them pot of cornmeal porridge and they sit down and drink. That's what they have. And they welcome their guests with that. But now Toots now take on a little subtle social commentary, which echoed stronger with man like what the man name we used to listen to again. Man, culture with man like culture. I think even Peter touched too. Right? The more traditional reggae artists them know, them start push they make the music become the voice of the people. Ska and mental wasn't like that. Scarmento was having a good time. You're poor, you're oppressed, but I'm having a good time. That is Scarmento. Reggae music is more like me poor, me oppressed, me I talk about it, change the system. So so because of that now it became Streggae. Until when Toots formally named it in his song as reggae. All right, read that.
Salakia, me have a part where I tell you where it developed from ska. You want a part there?
How far down is that?
That is a good distance down still.
All right. Yeah, we can just go down to the where is that? Show me that paragraph.
Another one can it say? This one around.
All right.
Around.
Begin. Hold on. Go to the paragraph before that and then the read come down to this.
Another one can. Frederick Nathaniel Ebert was born. Sources differ on the date, but his representatives say it was December 8, 1942, in the rural town of Maypen, Jamaica, to parents who were Seventh-day Adventist preachers and owned local businesses, including a bakery.
All right. So you see, this was before integration. That man used to could have owned a bakery.
Right.
So you see, by the time now we're going to integration, down to the very music went away.
Right.
Read on.
Another one can. The youngest of 7 children, Frederick, who was given the nickname Little Toots by a brother, was drawn as a teenager to Kingston, about 35 miles away, where he got a job at a barber shop. Around 1962, he formed a vocal trio with Raleigh Garden and Jerry Matthias, and the young men soon became a top act in the new scene that developed around ska. The up-tempo style heavily influenced by American R&B that predated reggae.
Right. So that is how reggae became now. Mix the American R&B. It has nothing to do with like where Burna Boy talk about reggae come from Africa. Burna Boy need to watch this show. I'm doing one research. And this is from the New York Times. Nothing from no African. Right? The African influence that made it in our culture didn't even make it to the music. Right? There are some other dance moves, we talk about the Dinky Minis and the so on. There are some other one, you have one named Tambo, you have some other dance move. But those are dance, not music.
Right.
But the Janko, what we call the other one again? And then they play at wakes and so on. That one was prevalent among the Maroons. The Kumina was prevalent among the Maroons. But that still did not make it into the history of reggae.
Right. So if I may, sir, that have nothing at all to do with reggae. And like I said, that was clearly dance, and reggae is not a dance music. You understand? By the time it reached dancehall now, where dancehall start put dances in that, it clearly would, you know what I mean? It has evolved from reggae, who has nothing to do with the with Kumina and them thing there. By the time it reached dancehall, it is a total different thing. Different dancing style, different everything from Kumina and all of them things there.
From all the African influence.
Right.
Right. It didn't even come close.
And
the closest the African influence comes is when Sly and Robbie put the Kumina beat to the reggae beat.
And Slack, yeah, if I may, sir, you know what I mean? It hard to say African influence too, because those were Jamaicans who were Maroons. You understand? And they were doing their thing over here. You understand?
Just like how Quadrille had the slave masters influence. As a matter of fact, it's not an influence to say the slave master put their thing in it. It was we who took something from them. And like I said, it first came as we mocking them. How me can say that? Because I used to hear older people mention him saying that. So, you know, said this dance first came with the slave, then when they used to mock the slave master, until it formally become a dance amongst us. Right. So it began originally as a mockery. And then it's like we start saying, oh, wait, we have to keep fooling with the formal thing too. We don't can do like them too. And then we start to add. We add it. They said it was a 4-figure dance. Then we add a 5th one, which was the mentor.
Put
our spin to it.
And that is the important point where the people them need for hear where you say no, because you know what I mean, the mentor is the music.
Exactly.
And the mentor nothing to do with the oppressor.
Exactly.
You know, the dancing now where you'd have like this what them call it again? The formal dancing. They put the dancing with our style of music. And they them call it slack. What's the word again?
Quadrille.
Quadrille is not the music. Quadrille is the dance. Exactly. Mentor was the music that supported quadrille. See? And the same mentor became ska and then reggae. You understand? So nobody can really come with no foolishness about
ska mixed with we start hear the American R&B, put it with the ska, and we get reggae.
Right. So we basically learn from the Israelite brothers in the United States.
Yeah, we take something from them. We took
from them. Them influence us, and we influence them.
Once a year, New Orleans, you know, we start going there and we start going to the bayous and the black communities. And we hear the music and we say, okay, we can add this to our mentor. And then we get ska.
Slack, yes, sir. A lot, something that them don't talk about neither, you know, because them like we said, drums come from Africa. When the native Indians and the Tainos had drums.
Of course.
You understand? They had drums. So it wasn't like drums was native to only Africa. The Tainos had them own drums, you know what I mean? Own style of music and everything already. And we over here took a lot from them and not Africa, because at no point did we go to Africa to get anything from them. See? And we did not come over here with drums. We came over here naked, you know what I mean, without culture, without anything. So where we would have get that drum from?
Well, like all the junk, probably it came through thing there, you know. Maybe we learned a couple of it through 80, because the Maroons were close to the Asians, you know.
Right, gone, sir.
That could have been the root.
So like, yes, sir, and it still solidified the point, because where would the Asians them get drums from Africa? Where would them get it from? They would get it from Africa.
Because them ain't come from Africa. The Asians them were in the land.
Right. So you know what I mean? This African thing, them have to bury that. So like, yeah.
Well, you have to understand Burna Boy. Burna Boy just see a way to make some money, but at the same time, he better understand we too, because this is not just him saying things like that is not just a laugh off thing and say ha 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 ha. This is a serious thing.
Right.
This could lead to something like what happens to Trinidad music,
Yeah.
where some people in Miami copyright the calypso.
Yeah.
When they want to collect royalty after calypso music. You don't need to ask which set of people them do that. You know, it would be the small acts who do that.
Gone. Right. Gone.
Right. So when him come on and make talk like that now, we have to nip it right in the bud. Or
Right.
those of our people who have become pro-African might start believing it.
Right. And
We don't
Slack,
really have
yes.
we don't really have nothing against them. Don't tell no lie about our music.
And Slack, yes, sir. Before all of this, before Rastafariism infiltrated reggae, you know what I mean? The oppressor was saying that, you know what I mean, reggae comes from ska and mento, which comes from R&B. So it was after now, Rastafariism start worship Africa, start loving the Africans more than how them love them own people, start smoking the marijuana, start saying go back to Africa. That was when the Africans them now start believe say this have nothing to do with them. You understand?
Yeah, because when Peter Touch and a lot of the artists went into Africa to perform them reggae shows, the Africans were stunned.
Right.
They don't know them music there. First time I hear something like that.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, the reggae became appealing to the revolutionaries who were in Africa.
Right.
Became appealing to them.
Became an inspiration to them.
Exactly. So
it's like,
if it was from them, they would have had that inspiration because it would have been there, you know.
Can one can. And Slack, yes, sir. I always say, you know, imagine we were in slavery for 400 years. You know what I mean? They were free all this time. You know what I mean? Claiming to be the founders of the drum and all them things. And say, I mean, for tell me, say, even if, this is not the case, we did not take no drums from them. But even if we had got drums from them, what were they doing with them own drums? They were doing nothing with it. You know what I mean? So you can't blame the drum. I know the drum them are we. We are the difference.
We made the difference in the
right. So you know what I mean?
The music doesn't have any African thing there to it. All right, you see the Roomba box. What do they call it? Marumba.
Gun.
The Marumba box came from the Congolese region, but it went into Cuba. Even that, we still did not get that from. All right, this is the Roomba box is the one in the middle there, right? I can bring it up.
Gun.
Right, this one here in the middle. We still did not get it from the Congolese. We get it from our brothers in Cuba.
Right.
And they call it the Marumba. And we take off the MA and we just say Rumba. And we add it into the mento music. You understand? And then we spin it up into ska. We add the one drop, the half beat to it, and get ska.
Yeah.
And then from that half beat now, we add Judite music to it and get reggae.
Right.
So anybody who want to make any praise for reggae would have to be our brothers, the Cubans and the Judite. And the Cuban can only say, well, we give them the Roomba, and Roomba box don't use again. We don't have that in reggae again.
Right.
but we have the offbeat and we have the jolly music from the jolly movements from that. But the R&B, that's still in reggae. All right, what else we have to bring out in the article?
Slovakia, we still have the article with Stone Boy. If you want to read that.
Oh yes, we'll close off with that one there. With Stone Boy comment.
Can one can. Another one can. This says Stone Boy says reggae is African. Ghana Afrobeat star Stone Boy is taking his claim to reggae music according to him. The Jamaican music belongs to Africa. Reggae is rooted in the heart of Africa. It doesn't belong to any Caribbean society from its core. It belongs to Africans and we are enjoying it in diverse ways, said Stone Boy in an article quoted in the Cable Lifestyle.
All right. Here we are going to for me now. The article is long.
Slovakia.
All right, you don't like it long. All right, more you if you have something to say, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Continue talking.
Okay, gone, sir. So let me continue reading the article. It says, remember that Jamaicans are all Africans by virtue of the slave trade. And that's a lie. We are not Africans. You understand? We were sold by the Africans to the oppressor. You know what I mean? So we are not Africans. So that's another lie. So it's just the music that we are doing back again. So what he's doing right now, he's saying that because we were taken from Africa, Zane, we doing reggae music automatically belongs to them because, you know what I mean, we are quote unquote Africans. You understand? When we did not belong to them when they sold us into slavery. So why should what we, you know what I mean, create over here in captivity belong to them? Let me continue reading. Whether reggae, dancehall, highlife, Afrobeat, they all come from the same source. So now he's saying that reggae, dancehall, so he's taking, he might take claim to everything. You know what I mean? And him also add Afrobeat to it when, if you notice what he's doing, he's saying that we took from Africa, you know what I mean, or we took Africa's, basically what they normally say is the drum. See? We took from them and created reggae and dancehall, so it belonged to them. And then him add Afrobeat when it is the opposite. It is Afrobeat that took from reggae and dancehall. See? It is the Africans that took from us, you know what I mean, and created Afrobeat. See? So now, because Afrobeat is getting so big now, he want to say, well, I did we already, you know, basically he must say, you know, because remember reggae and dancehall come from we, so, you know what I mean? It's no, it's no surprise that Afrobeat becomes so big because remember say we don't influence dancehall and reggae, which is a lie, you understand?
All right. It's a lie on all front because
you understand?
We being among them, we weren't Africans.
Right, so we weren't Africans.
A human who was born at sea is not a fish.
Right.
So because we were born and grown in Africa, that doesn't make us Africans. Right? We were still Israelites. We were hiding amongst them. As a matter of fact, continue reading. We'll find the scripture.
Canada one can. Music insider Kingsley Goodison is, however, rubbishing Stone Boy's claim. So, you know what I mean? So this insider, this musician or music insider is now saying that when name Stone Boy, I don't know him at all, but let me continue reading. Don't come here with that foolishness. Reggae was formed in Jamaica in different stages. It was ska, then rocksteady, then reggae. After Slakia, Africa has nothing to do with that. Slakia, follow the history of the thing. But reggae is Jamaican, Goodison told the Jamaica Observer. Goodison conceptualizer of tributes to the great award show says it is not the first he has heard other people making claim on the reggae. You know what I mean? And you're going to find out say that is a common sentiment over there in Africa. Everything that we do over here, them take claim to it. So every greatness that we have, them say, oh, is because we come from them. You understand? So them credit themselves for all our accomplishments over here. You understand? Let me continue reading.
And them never go through the slavery when we go through. And
Right.
we look to them.
Right. Gone.
Mm.
Gone. See? There was another guy in South Africa that said the same thing years ago, but he died, he said. And remember, South Africa is, if you remember South Africa and Mandela, you know, it was, you know what I mean, reggae music and Jamaicans who, you know what I mean, basically help to liberate, you know what I mean, those Africans over there, you know.
We were the first country to hold sanction against the apartheid regime.
Right.
Jamaica was the first country in the world. Before Big America, before Great Britain, before all of them people.
Right. You know what I mean? And this is how they repay us. You understand?
Yeah.
Not to mention
the slave class.
Slakia, say that again, sir.
They say them not better than the slave master.
Right, you understand. Doing the same thing that the oppressor does. You know what I mean? Doing the same thing. Take credit for what we do. You know what I mean? A black man create the light bulb. You know what I mean? The oppressor, all the oppressor created was the patent office. You understand? Patent all our creations and didn't call it his own. Yeah. Now the Africans, them being oppressors too, because guess what? Before the oppressor, it was the Africans who had us in slavery. You understand? So, like oppressors do, them credit themselves, you know what I mean, for what? They call the slave, because them call us akatas, you know. So I guess what the slaves own don't belong to them, it belongs to the oppressor, which is the Africans or the Caucasian. You know what I mean? We don't own the rights to nothing at all where we create because them consider us slave. See?
Exactly.
And now you have another class of oppressor, the Chinese now claiming that, you know what I mean, starting to decide who can call themselves a Jamaican. You understand? That is how oppressors think. You know what I mean? When all the greatness that came out of Jamaica came from the Israelites here in Jamaica, who are not African Slakia. See?
Yeah. All right, finish up the article.
Another one can.
But we have to show the Stoneboy article that we are not really Africans.
Slakia, we are not Africans. None at all, sir. Slakia. Another one can. There was another guy in South Africa that said the same thing years ago, but he died. He said, Goodison started tribute to the greats in 1998. Since its inception, close to 200 individuals have been honored, including producer Clement Coxon, Dad, former Prime Minister Edward Seaga, a pioneer producer, singer Alton Ellis, Australian sound engineer Graham Goodall. Deeply linked with Rastafari, reggae originated in Jamaica in the late 1960s, right? And that is how these Africans, you know what I mean, were deceived thinking that reggae was African Slakia.
I see they even mention Toots. They even mention Toots down in this article.
Gun. Another one can. Deeply linked with Rastafari reggae, originated in Jamaica in the late 1960s with its political commentary and religious undertone. And like Sir said, it was this political commentary where that caused the upper class to not like reggae. See, they were okay with Skia, okay with Mentor, you know what I mean? Everything else, but you know what I mean? The reggae now was talking about what poor people was going through. You understand? And the garrison, the ghetto adapted towards reggae. And the high society did not like that, did not
Right.
like reggae.
And that was that social commentary came through the rhythm and blues.
Gone, gone,
And that
gone,
was
gone.
that was what the blues was all about, you know.
R&B, right, gone, gone.
Yeah.
Another one, gone. See? The word first came to prominence in in a 1968 single titled "Do the Reggae" by Toots and the Maytals, which was the first popular song to use the word reggae, effectively naming the genre and introducing it to a global audience. You understand? Stone Boy, whose given name is Livington Etsu Satekwa. You know what I mean? Them African name are hard to pronounce. You understand? See, combines reggae and dancehall with traditional African beat. He is no stranger to Jamaica. The Sing J. And you notice them call him Sing J. Who is a Sing J? A singer that does dancehall music. So he's not even an Afrobeat artist, you know, which them claim that them create, you know. He does dancehall and reggae, and now he's trying to claim it. Virgin, then if you claim that it comes from the core of Uno, see, I'm gonna create something from reggae music and dancehall. And that is how oppressors are. When them start do your thing and then them claim it as them own. You understand? Let me continue reading. The Sing J performed at Reggae Sunfest in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay in 2018. He has always, Slakia, he has always collaborated with Jamaican artists and most recently recorded with dancehall king Beenie Man. All right, and this could be the thing that urge Stone Boy to start claim dancehall because during an interview, you know what I mean, with him and Beenie Man crowned him the Prince of Dancehall. Of course, Beenie Man is a legend in dancehall. And he said that
Probably Beenie Man would want to walk it back after him see what Stone Boy really up to. Probably sorry now, say, I shouldn't even name him no Prince and no dancer. Because now you name him. It's just like the Roman emperor, I think it was Constantine, who baptized and called himself Christian. And from then, Christianity has become a Roman thing when he learned it from the original Jews. Right. So this is how the oppressors, take away our thing. But if we go to a Stone Boy talk about now, and this is why I say we're not really African, because yeah, we were taken from the shores, that many of us was taken from the shores of Africa, but we weren't Africans. As a matter of fact, we were told to flee to the mountains. If you read in Matthew 24, verse 16, this is when Christ was talking about the abomination of desolation. He said, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Right? So what did we do? We fled Judea. We went into the mountains of Judea. We escaped and found our way into Africa. outside of the Roman jurisdiction. But this book now, if you look in this book, from Babylon to Timbuktu, and you read page 84, second paragraph. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey. Which year was this? 65 BC. This was before Christ born. This was why Christ was born. When Christ was born, it was the Romans who were ruling Jerusalem. In the year 65 BC, the Roman army under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. And then from 65 BC to in the year 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. So they invade the country and was under siege 65 BC. But in 70 AD now they make a full scale they went all out war against us. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. That was how we got into Africa. And this is how you know that now the Jews them worldwide, because 1 million white men never flee into Africa. Over 1 million black people who were Jerusalem people fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave market was full of black Jewish slaves. So Stone Boy don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Right? That was how we get into Africa from 70 AD. So you check how many thousands of years that coming down. Here we are still not in Jerusalem again yet. All right, so basically that's it. You know, like, subscribe, and share our videos. The history of reggae music, right? Now the period between when they talk about the rocksteady music, rocksteady really spin off a ska. That's the earlier form of reggae, really. I name it's reggae too, right? So that's the history of the thing. Officer Kayadwan coming back in. All right, so I spoke about, I read this, how we got into Africa, and why I say we're not really Africans, because yeah, we were taken from the shores of Africa, but we are originally Jews. We are not Hamite people, we are Shemite people. And if you notice how the reggae music, we talk about the Israel music, the reggae music. Reggae is totally Shemite. It has no Hamite in it, no Hamite thing in it. Totally Shemite. It's a Shemite music. Yeah. It came because those who we take it from, the social commentary that came down with the R&B, that came from the blacks in America. All right. Do you have anything to say before we close out?
Sir. I mean, that was it.
All right. Now we finish the reading, right? Finish reading. Huh? Freezing up again. All right, so you back on? All right, still frozen. All right, like we said, like, comment, like, share, subscribe to our channels. Don't be afraid to comment. I mean, if you want to disagree with what we said, don't be afraid to put it in a comment. We will respond accordingly. All right, so that's a history. That's a history of our music, the reggae music. All right, the next time that we have this now, the Israelite before and after integration. We'll find something that we can look at. Looking at our people, right? Many of you know going to ask now, so what about the white man? So what about this? So what about that? We always ask one thing. So what about our people? The one we will not get neglected. All right. So until then, we say shalom. Yahweh Shemir Shai Barakatah.